Also, I have not practiced in it at all. I drove it through the paddock once. So when we go out there, we have a half a lap of warm-up, and then it's racing time. Alex, what was it like seeing your car out there on the track without you driving it?
Other than 6 or 7 anxiety attacks, it was great fun.
Today is a very special day. We are with the VSCDA at Grattan, Michigan, which is one of the prettiest tracks in the world. And behind me is a 1965 Lotus Elan built to effectively 26R specifications, which we'll go over. But today is going to be the first Genius Garage Invitational Racing event. So I have been deeply honored by the president of the VSCDA because this Elan is his car and he is letting me drive it. Yes! I got so excited I broke out my open face helmet, my World War II Polaroid goggles, and my Jimmy Clark driving gloves. No, I don't think I'm Jimmy Clark because I do not want to hurt his very, very beautiful car. Now, this particular car, obviously 1600cc, and would you believe that the Lotus Elan was so perfect, it inspired the Miata. And they say Miata is always the answer, and that's the acronym, but no, the Elan is here, which means the OG is in fact the answer today. Now, this car, would you believe, with fluids, weighs in at 1,350 pounds. Dual Weber carburetors, beautifully built racing engine, flawlessly built suspension and wheels, and a gearbox that is dog engagement straight cut. This is going to be very interesting. Now, some of the parts are old Ford, and they're getting worn out, and there's less parts available, but the internals are all new, and it is different from what I'm accustomed to. So I'm going to try to find the nicest way to drive this. Also, I have not practiced in it at all. I drove it through the paddock once. So when we go out there, we have a half a lap of warm-up, and then it's racing time. So you're going to see what it's like for somebody to just jump in a Lotus Elan and give it the beans.
Sidebar, I am up late editing this video and I can tell you guys it is incredible. With the various mics on this and 360 cam, you can both see and hear everything. And I do mean everything, from the tires of the Elan to other cars, the various exhaust notes, slightly on the wind, me making noise, the straight cut gears, the dogs at the gears, the steering wheel. It's unbelievable. So there's a lot to learn from it. I'm gonna be straight. I missed 2 shifts and it made me cringe like crazy to bang the dogs. Alex, I'm sorry. Going from 3rd to 2nd, I didn't snick it in fast enough. This was my first time in the car and I had a half lap of warm up. And frankly, I was afraid of hurting the gearbox because earlier the day of or day before, the gearbox was in 3rd gear and somehow the little puck internally got stuck between 1st and 2nd and obviously had to come in. So I was afraid of ruining the Genius Garage Invitational race and this great video. So remember, the guy in the yellow Alpha has been driving that car for a few decades and he is an awesome driver. So you guys are gonna hopefully find it interesting with the racecraft and me having to learn the car instantaneously and then see where I can exploit where the Lotus is good, being light and nimble and hucking it around, but also where I can be patient, getting into the corner and trying to be methodical, getting from 3rd to 2nd and then getting maybe a later apex where I can get on the throttle earlier and truck on by some people. So guys, enjoy the video.
Fine?
Good show.
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty good show.
What a well done car.
Good.
Well done. Thank you.
Well, guys, that was the fun go in the Lotus Elan, and I had a great time. And this is Alex Rourke. He's the president of the VSCDA, and it is his car. Alex, what was it like seeing your car out there on the track without you driving it?
Other than 6 or 7 anxiety attacks, it was great fun.
Was it?
Yes, it was great fun, and I hope your viewership isn't offended by this, but your driving was great.
Oh, thank you.
And the ability to work, he worked his way through from pretty much the back of the grid, built up confidence, and then ended up dicing with some of the very best drivers.
Yeah.
Who came back laughing because it was so much fun, and really it was real racing, but also the camaraderie that we lived with.
Definitely. And that was Mike in the yellow Duetto, right? The
Yes.
Alpha?
Mike
Yeah,
Beeson,
no.
yes.
That was really great. And when we were up there, I'm like, this is a nice show. This is a really gentlemanly thing for everybody. Let's have a really good go, but let's just keep having fun, So we're able to keep that going. And I was trying to be so darn nice to your gearbox after you were finicking with it. I didn't want to be the guy to...
He was not that guy. He did not break the gearbox. He did a great job.
I missed a few apexes because I was concentrating so much on getting it right.
You had the apexes down, and he had a very good lap time.
Oh, you're too kind.
I don't want to be too kind to him, but he did that.
In any case, so your car, everybody wants to know more about the Elan. Why do you love the Elan so much? And with that build, what's special about it for you?
With the Elan, it's grace and joy. It's a very fast car. It has tremendous handling. It has the classic Colin Chapman build lightness in. So without having to have a giant engine, it's very, very quick, but the handling is remarkable.
It is. Yeah.
And I've always had a passion for the cars. And this is, it was a 2-year building process where we, working from a 1965 Lotus Elan, had the most advanced of what we call the Lotus Elan 26 R parts, which were racing parts brought in from England with wonderful help from Don Hubble and his folks, put together.
Oh, they're tremendous.
The perfectly balanced car. And also the paint on it, which is called Seafoam Green, allows the lines that were designed back in the 60s, I think, really to stand out. And the color is 60s appropriate.
Indeed. And the Lotus Elan, if I'm not mistaken, was basically the inspiration for the Miata, the Mazda Miata.
Well, or some would say it was Miata, was a clone of the car, but they're very, very similar. And actually, when I first got this car, we decided to upgrade the seat, the driver's seat,
Yes.
because we weren't comfortable with what's in there. And it was very tough to find something that fit in. And then it was identified with a place. It was a shop that made stuff for Miata Spec Racing.
Yeah.
That made equipment there. We got a seat from it, and it plugged right in.
Did
There's
they?
no question about
That's
it. It's
neat.
called the relationship there
Yes.
between the later on Mazda design.
Well, and your son is driving an early Miata, which is eligible here.
Yes.
The early ones, like
Yes.
89, 90,
Yes.
that kind of thing.
The
Yeah,
Spec 1 Miata.
that's really neat.
And having a great time with it.
Well, I hugely appreciate it. And yeah, the car did build tremendous confidence. I mean, I had every confidence in the build being solid, but my God, it was balanced so nicely. I genuinely had a really good time. A really
Well,
good
thank
time.
you. And you did the car had the chance to be driven by somebody who could really take advantage of
I
it.
appreciate that.
It was fun to watch.
I have one joke to myself that I realized on the track though. I went to just scan the back, and I could see my face and my cheeks are starting to I'm getting old enough, they're flapping in the breeze a little.
You're just driving too quickly.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting me do that. Let's go find some more of the drivers. But Alex, thank you so much. Really enjoyed the VSCDA. This is the most wholesome, great group of vintage racers I've had. And I'll be honest when I say it has rekindled my love that I had so many years for it. And I intend to come out to a lot more VSCDA races. So check them out on the website. They have the driver school early in the spring in May if you want to get your license and come out and race. And I've got at least 1 or 2 students I think are hankering to get a vintage race car and come out next year. So I hope to see you guys here as well.
I'd be delighted to have you join us. Casey, a pleasure.
Thanks, sir. Cheers. Well, hey guys, here with another member that was in the Genius Garage Invitational racing all this weekend. He's been doing it for a long time. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Had a fantastic weekend.
It was a ball. Everybody's having a good time. So,
Broke the car slightly, but
you did what you
I
do.
took out third gear somehow.
That happens now and then.
It's fixable.
So, who are you and what car did you drive?
So I'm Tony Drews. I drive a 1963 Triumph TR4.
Yeah, look at this guy. That is a great looking car.
Red and white, number 95.
Yeah. I got some good B-roll. How long have you been running this car?
I have been running this car for 22 years.
That's a while.
This is the 121st race weekend.
That's wild. That is absolutely wild. That is the entire time I think I've been road racing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Am I that old? That sounds about right. Early
Well, and
2000s?
I race I don't know. My dad raced SCCA
Yeah.
while I was growing up, so I was always
Yeah.
around race cars. And then he got into vintage, and he let me drive his car.
Yeah.
And then, set the hook. Oh my goodness.
Of course.
Once you're out there, you know.
100%.
It's like, oh, now I know why he spent all that money doing this.
Well, I tell you what, I really love the VSCDA because for me, I think it's a place that's family friendly. My wife and little kiddo came out. That's
Yeah,
nice.
it is,
And
yes.
you see multiple generations doing it, but I also think it's really approachable for people wanting to get into the hobby, regardless of what your age is or regardless of what specific vintage car you like.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's lots of room to grow.
There's a huge support network. The people are, that's half of the race week is just the camaraderie
Oh, yeah.
with all the, it's like I look forward. I've broken halfway through the weekend. I stuck around just to watch
So fun.
had
Hang out
my
with
buddies
everybody.
on and whatever, and drink their beer, and
Well, and Grattan is a beautiful, beautiful track.
it is. It's a
There's many
great little
others.
roller coaster, technical, but not
Definitely.
yeah.
How do you like Genius Garage? How'd you like the students and seeing them out here the first
It
time?
was awesome having Genius Garage here and hearing what you do. That's such a valuable thing for getting people hands-on with
Yeah.
this stuff.
Well, and it does a great job of helping them launch their careers out of school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big companies, and then you'll have people who both like vintage racing and then can afford to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's helpful doing that.
Well, and I mean, a lot of the guys that are in vintage, you got to have a little bit of money to race a car.
You gotta have a career. You gotta have a garage. We'll come back to that thought. So you gotta have a toolbox. You gotta get to work. You want to go vintage racing?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can pay other people to do it. I know a lot of the guys don't really do much on their own cars, but
I think all my students will work on their own stuff. I have a feeling.
yeah, I'm the old school, do everything. I build my engines, transmissions.
For sure.
I don't do much painting, but
No.
that's weird chemicals.
I'll do a
and
little
stuff.
here and there. But
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
But yeah.
I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you for being part of it. Hopefully there'll be more to come with the VSCDA. I hope so. I think that'll be fun.
We love having you here. I think it's a great fit.
I think so too.
And we want everyone to come.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
share the fun with the other.
Yep. Look up the website VSCDA. You can't miss it. You can see all the rules and vintage of cars and what cars and driver school to get your license and all that jazz. So you have no excuse not to pick up a toolbox and get a car ready, come out, and have fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So, who are you, and what is this car behind us?
I'm John Donato, and this is a 67 NSU TTS. Started out not as a TTS, but that's what the homologation is for C sedan.
Sure, and this is a fascinating rear-engine car, and if I'm not mistaken, traces its sort of family lineage to the early days of Auto Union and Audi, does it not?
It is. The company was actually ended up being bought out by Audi, and the factory, the NSU factory, is still in building production vehicles. It ended up building the Porsche 944s, and then they ended up building the Audis and everything else. Yeah.
That's fascinating. I didn't realize it.
And-
Now, this particular car, tell me what exactly is this engine? It's a fascinating transverse air-cooled affair.
Yes, that's NSU was a motorcycle company from the beginning, clear in the 1800s,
Yes.
and pretty much they transferred that technology into building small cars. They were also the first one to ever build a production car with a Wankel engine in it. They owned all the rights to the original Wankel.
That's really fascinating. Now, your
But
car
this one's-
specifically, what engine is that?
This is a 1200 single overhead cam air cooled, and from the factory it had twin 40 millimeter side draft carburetors on a 1 liter
Neat.
to make them homologations so they could race them. They only made the original TTSs, they made 1,200 or so over 4 years. So the original TTS cars are pretty rare.
For sure. And now you have a couple of side draft dual choke Webers on it, yeah?
Yes, the original carburetors were Solex dual 40s, but they allowed you to run the Webers on it as an option.
That's neat. And how many years have you been running your car?
This one I've had, I don't know, almost 30 years, probably 25, 30 years. It was raced by a dealer originally out of Chicago, so it's been a race car since almost new.
Yeah, that's super cool. So I guess on the last thing I would say, what would you say to new people out there that maybe want to go vintage racing or haven't a long time and want to get involved, and why the VSCDA is the place to do it?
Good question. Yeah.
No, but
But VSCDA is a great club to be in. It's one of the best ones I think around. Always have a good turnout. Everybody's willing to help each other out, no matter what kind of car you have.
Well, and I think I'd add to your statement relating to it is this is a really great place that anybody can bring out unusual and interesting cars, such as your NSU, and have a welcome, friendly environment where you can, in a gentlemanly way, enjoy performance driving and racing where you're not worried about hurting your car.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that's a huge value and something that was really important to me as a young person back in the day when I had and was finishing up my Devon or restoring a Formula Ford and anything like that. So I got to go racing and obviously get better and enjoy going fast, but also learned everything about restoration. Had a great environment to do it where I didn't go broke.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah,
good
and
fun.
it doesn't matter what kind of car it is. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But they do have a limit on how new. So I think
About 1990s.
I think 90 is the cutoff now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what generation you come from, how young you are, guys. There's a lot of cool cars before that. So find something neat, expand your horizons, and come on out to the VSCDA. You can look us up in the description below. And also, the driver's school is in May, early in the year, for you to get your license and come out. So there's no excuse. Pick up your toolbox and get at it.
Yep.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, thank you.